Safeguarding is a power that each of us have and that we can use to prevent and stop abuse in all corners of the borough. Parks, schools, shops, everywhere. All we need to do to activate that power is to pay attention. Notice when something is wrong and tell someone about it. That's especially important when it comes to protecting children.
Our PE teacher is teaching his class one day and he observed that a 6-year-old boy had a bruise on his left arm. It looks fresh as well, like it just happened recently. The PE teacher asked the boy what happened and he said, "My mum whipped me with a ruler." But his mum asked him not to say anything to anybody because if he tells the teacher or anybody, he'll be taken away. The PE teacher felt that this is not something that was right and will contact the child protection leader of the school. The child protection lead and the PE teacher was of the view that this needs to be reported to the children's services, which they did. Mom denied it and said, "Oh, he fell over and had a bruise." I looked to Mom and said, "You need to be honest with me because we'll put support in place for you. We can take you for parenting classes and how to positively discipline your child as opposed to hitting your child." Because the PE teacher took action, we were able to safeguard this child and let Mum be aware that there are different ways of disciplining the child. She went for the parenting classes and she learned a lot. And this child is happy at home.
A simple action from the PE teacher in this story transformed the young boy's life. That's what the power of safeguarding children can do. A child is defined as anyone who hasn't yet reached their 18th birthday. Children can be vulnerable to neglect and abuse from anyone they come across in their daily lives, including their own families. The rise of the internet and social media has opened up even more ways for children to be accessed and abused. So it's important to be even more vigilant than ever before for signs of abuse in different forms, including physical, sexual or emotional abuse, neglect, online abuse or cyberbullying, sexual exploitation, or the influence of extremism leading to radicalization. Listen to these real stories and try to use your knowledge, instinct, and what you've learned so far to spot the danger. Try to think about your day-to-day life. Would you notice these kinds of things? And would you tell someone about it?
A woman started noticing a group of girls visiting a neighbor's house. These girls were aged around 13 to 16. They have their school uniform on, and at the time that they visit this property, it should be the time that should be in school. And the neighbor became concerned because their property was owned by a man, an older man, and she also observed other men too and boys going in and out of the property, and there's a strong smell of weed coming out of that property. She made a referral, and I went in to investigate to see what was going on. I spoke to my manager about this and there were concerns that this guy is known by the police. We made contact with the school and it turned out these girls have been missing school for months. We made contact with the parents, which they were happy about because they had no knowledge that the girls have not been going to school. Through my investigations, I discovered that the young girls were being groomed for sexual exploitations. The neighbor acted swiftly and she took the right action by alerting the social services. If she hadn't done that, this sexual exploitation would have gone on for months. After the investigation and we had our evidence, this man was arrested while the girls were given the good support that they needed. The girls are doing well now. So it was thanks to the neighbor that made the referral. Otherwise, these children would have been in danger.
Imagine you were the neighbor in that story. Would you tell someone about it? That decision could steer those girls away from a very dark future. What a difference you could make.
There was a young lad, approximately 14 years old, and while at school his behaviour had changed, and this is identified by the teacher. And what they'd realised was that he was becoming far more aggressive. It was also identified by other pupils who brought to the attention of the teacher that he had been sharing online right-wing extremist material with other kids in the school who actually found it quite offensive. The teacher quite rightly made a referral. That referral went to the local authority. What that exposed was a mother who was having difficulty at home with not just the 14-year-old boy but his older brother, who had a very strong sense of right-wing politics. So one of the key things here was that the teacher identified something, they saw something and they reported it. And as a result of that, the family got the support that they required. Had that referral never gone in, the potential consequences were 14-year-old lad may have been set on a path of extremism which could have taken him into a life of criminality. But that didn't happen. That was averted because the vulnerability was identified and the appropriate safeguarding was put in place, which helped him, his family, his mother and his brother.
Using your powers of safeguarding is important and can change people's lives. But what should you be looking out for? Watch the next film to find out.